Fernandez from Kamal Fernandez Dog Training, and I'm doing another conversation in my current series on lifting all ships. So the premise of this comes from the mantra, a rising tide lifts all ships. So in the current climate and the situation that we're in, everybody can come together and lift each other up and inject some positivity into the environment, into the atmosphere, so to speak. Hopefully we can get through this with a level of optimism and positivity that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The person that I'm talking with today is the world-renowned Dave Munnings, top-level agility competitor, top-level agility coach, current Crufts champion for, I think it's the 3 years on the trot?
For singles, 2, I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's so nonchalant about it. But yeah. So I'm just going to read off quickly. He's made up 5 agility champions. He's won 4? 4? 4 agility? Okay. 4 agility champions. He's won Olympia numerous times. He's been on the world team with several dogs. He's podiumed with several dogs. His list of accolades and achievements just go on and on and on. So I'm hugely privileged to have this conversation. And above all, he's a very good friend of mine. Him and his partner, Dan, are very good friends of mine. I've known them for years. Although we have a lot of banter, there's a lot of love there. So I'm really grateful to have this time to talk with him, see how he's getting on in the current climate and see what he's up to. So thank you for your time, Dave. I do appreciate it. Okay. I know you're very busy, even though you're on isolation.
I know, I've got so much to do.
What have you been doing then with yourself?
Oh, God, just cutting the grass.
Exciting things.
The dogs. Okay. I don't know. Now you've said it, I don't know what I've been doing, but I've got a list, keeping myself busy.
Have you? That's good that you're keeping proactive. Because you've obviously moved to your place in Oxford, which is a huge... So you're in a really great situation for the current restrictions that we've got. But nonetheless, it does also take a lot of work to maintain. So you're out there with your mower.
Absolutely, I'm mowing, I'm tidying, I'm trimming, I'm doing the weeds.
And that's just you.
I know. It takes a lot of work these days.
So what have you been doing then? Obviously, you've mentioned about looking after your property, but how about your dog training? How have you been managing with what's been going on then?
Well, we've got a lot of dogs to train, so there's always something to do. Mm-hmm. It's hard when there's no motivation, when there's nothing to work, we're not sure what you're working for, because we don't know if there's going to be anything on this year. So it has been hard, but I've got a puppy, so she's always got stuff to work on. Starting her running contacts and stuff always takes a lot of time. Yeah. Also, I've had my puppy diaries up again, so I've been doing a lot of filming for that, so everyone's got stuff to work through. So she's always working on stuff. For my young dog Commotion, he's 3 now, he was just going to really come out competing well this year, hopefully. He's still working on, I'm just really kind of going all the way back through his foundations again, working on all his skills.
Yeah. So what grade is so the dogs that you're currently training and running? You've obviously got Fame, your 8-year-old who just won Crufts. You've got Boost, your small Jack Russell Corgi cross thing. We don't know what he is. He's won. He's in champ and he's won a couple of tickets. Then you've got Commotion, who's 3.
Commotion, yeah.
Yeah. And what grade's he in?
He's 5 now, 5.5.
Is he? Wow, okay.
He's getting up the grades now. Good.
And then you've got your puppy, I want to call her Susan, it's not, it's Legacy. Legacy. And she is now...
it's nearly 8 months now.
Okay, fine. And so lots and lots going on, and obviously Dan has his dogs. So at the stage with her, you've obviously got Puppy Diaries, which is that for Boffin and Commotion as well? Was it?
No, so we had Puppy Diaries with Boffin and Commotion, which is not open at the moment because it's full of a load of people. Yeah. I just started Puppy Power Up, which is just me and Legacy, just for 6 months. So I'm almost coming to the end of her 6 months now, but I reopened it so everyone can go back on while they've all got time with their puppies. Yeah. While they're all stuck at home, so they can do loads of stuff with them.
So what? So just tell us a little bit about that. So in Puppy Power, what do they get from that then? What is it that you cover?
So I started at so as soon as I got her, so 8 weeks old, and it goes all the way through. Basically everything I do is at least 4 videos a week of stuff I'm doing with them. It's not always agility; it's just foundations, it's relationship building, it's recall, it's retrieve, it's teaching them tricks, and then also it starts on with agility foundation. So just toy play, wing work, some seesaw games, just real basic foundation-y stuff, nothing major. It's all just building up, she's only 8 months old, just the start of her mat work. So basically everything I do is on there now. So I think it's good. I looked back through it yesterday and I didn't realize quite how much stuff
there's content
was actually on there. Yeah,
and so
crazy.
people can get, is it 6 months access, or how long's the access for the
So
course?
well, it was going to be 6 months and 6 months after, but now I've reopened it again, which I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll keep it open for like another year now because I've added new people on, so they're going to have it for plenty of time.
Yep. And currently you've got a really great offer at the moment, obviously with the there is people are restricted about what they can and can't do in terms of work. So you've been very generous, and just tell us quickly about that.
So just a 20% discount on everything. QME 2020, I think it is, for the discount code, just so everyone's got a little bit of discount, so they can. I know everyone's going to be having problems at the moment with money, not being able to work, so it just helps out a little bit.
Yeah, excellent.
We're the same. We can't work. The only work I'm doing now is my online. So it's all just it's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Helping everyone out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. So people, is it qme.com or qme.co?
Yeah, QME-agility.co or .co.uk or .com.
Cool. All right, I will put that in the link and that, so people can pick that up and have a look at Dave's stuff. And he has loads and loads of online training. So you've been in online training for quite some time now, haven't you?
Yeah.
And how did it come? So what made you go to online training? Was it because agility's been going that way for quite a while?
I think I can't remember when I started out. 6 or 7 years ago, I think I just really wanted somewhere, because I was doing a lot of international training and people couldn't train with me regularly. I wanted somewhere they could go, a platform where they could go and still do all their training with me, still do their foundations with me. So at least when I went and trained them, I wasn't having to go back to all my foundations again. They had the skills there, and we could then just really work on handling and stuff. That's kind of why I started it up.
Yeah.
And then it just grew and grew and grew until I was doing more and more stuff. And it's nice to be able to be at home with the dogs rather than having to travel all the time, which I was doing like crazy before.
Yeah.
So the more I got into that, the more I realised that my dogs had a better life when I was at home.
Yeah.
So they weren't stuck in a car travelling all the time.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it, really. And it just took off, taken off so well, because I've been doing it so long now.
Yeah.
Got a nice following, and it's all going great.
Yeah, good. It's good that you're so busy, and I think everybody in agility is now moving in that way, isn't it? Really,
Absolutely.
So, in terms of your experience with online training, because I suspect what's going to happen now is a lot of people are going to start to do online training as a means of generating some income, which is absolutely brilliant that people are thinking a bit laterally on their feet and thinking a bit differently about their business. Is there anything that you would advise people from your experience of online training?
So advice for online training: so don't overwhelm yourself. Keep it manageable. I think you think, it's online, I can just sit at home and do it, but when you've got like 20, 30 videos to go through in a day, that is a lot. It takes a long time to go through each video. So you look each little bit, and so just don't overwhelm yourself. I try and do quite a bit that doesn't have feedback, just so they can watch my videos and go through it. But obviously a lot of people need that feedback, so there is usually an option for it. But on the whole, I think I try and make my videos so easy to understand, so short, sharp little videos that people don't always need the feedback.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. I think the misconception that you're going to be able to sit in your living room and kick back, it's actually not, because you have to, people are coming to you to get feedback from you. They essentially you're coaching them, and it can actually be really, really intense when you say it, like you say, you can have 20, 30, 40 people on a course. You've got to look at their videos and review them. So I would definitely agree with Dave in that, not to overwhelm yourself with trying to do too much and trying to take it in sizable chunks, as it were. So start off moderately, and then once you build your confidence up, you can do more and more and more. So in terms of your own dogs, what are you working on with them? You mentioned about skills with commotion. What would you be doing with your puppy, for example?
The puppy's doing a lot of just sort of mat work for her running dog walk, just getting her going on the mat, which is I'm doing Katerina's course. You maybe can put that up there, because it's not my stuff. I'd like to do her stuff. She's really good at teaching that. And other than that, just relationship stuff, really. She's really cool, so I've done a lot of boundary games with her, teaching her to sit on beds and wait and have some self-control, as well as mixing it up with a lot of crazy drive stuff, keeping her motivated for the agility. She's pretty motivated anyway, so that's not hard. Oh yeah, she's a cool puppy. And they're just doing little bits of wing work, some understanding some verbal, so directions, getting her really learning that quite young, stuff that I forgot or didn't do with commotion so well. Right. Going back and doing it with her. So
but do you think they're just different dogs, Dave? Do you think they're just more?
Yeah, they're different. Yeah, they are different. He just
he's quite powerful and strong, isn't he?
So powerful. That's the problem with him. He just wants to do everything a zillion miles an hour. He doesn't use his brain. So I'm doing a little bit brain work. Because it's just trying to find a balance with each one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always end up doing a little bit more with one because you didn't do that with the other, and then you go back the other way.
Yeah,
with
of
the
course
next
you
one.
do. Yeah, you overcompensate.
I know, it's always about finding that balance with each one.
Yeah. So, what makes you? So you've just mentioned there you've gone to somebody else for online training about a specific thing. What would be the things that you would look for in online training, and what would make you go to a particular course? What would you look as a buyer, I suppose, as a customer?
Definitely just easy to follow videos. Some videos, I don't like long videos because you have to go back and watch each bit.
Yeah.
I want to be able to just look at a bit, think, right, I've got to go and do that and go out and do it. I don't like these massive videos where you feel like you have to write notes and remember each bit. I just want small segments, which Katerina's course, they're quite long, but they're manageable, her videos. They're longer than I do, but there's so much information in them. She's very good, very informative. So I like to have, I like there to be information, easy to understand information, short videos if possible. That's what I like, and I don't want so much information that it's again overwhelming for me, because then you feel like, I'm never going to get this done. It's too much. That personally stresses me out. So I think I just won't get it finished. So I like short, manageable chunks. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of feedback. Anybody that's thinking about online trading, think about how you deliver the information. You know, people only have so much concentration. If you overwhelm them and bombard them with really, really in-depth lectures, and like you say, it can sometimes be all consuming. People want concise, punchy information, little clips, a couple of minutes or 5 minutes, etc., so that they can absorb it and then implement it. And you can break, if you have a longer lecture or webinar, you can chop it down into sections so that people can absorb that information quickly. That's really, really good advice, Dave. So what are things then that you can do in the home with your dogs? For obviously your area of expertise is agility, so what things do you do with your dogs in the home and people that don't have obviously a lot of land and a lot of space? Because bearing in mind you used to live in another house which was smaller. Yeah. What would you do with your dogs in the house to or things, behaviours you could train?
I like my dogs to be quite chilled in the house, but things you can do, and things that I do with my puppies. So I train a lot of stuff with my puppies, just a lot of trick training, teaching them just loads of different things. And you don't even need equipment for it. Even just teach them to pick up something or hold something. Just do cute things where you can take pretty pictures of them, put them on Facebook. It takes up a lot. But, just I like my dogs, when they can hug each other and climb on each other. I like my dogs being able to do things like that. I think there's so many tricks. I mean, there's so much resources out there now for free, just on YouTube. Just Google tricks and just start teaching them, because it's the perfect opportunity to build a better relationship with your dogs. Get them using their brains when they can't use their bodies as much. If you live somewhere you can't walk them easily, and just really just get them just having fun with them, just enjoying them again, because you don't usually get to spend quite as much time with them. As we are.
It is. There's a lot of time that we're all having. So you mentioned earlier about as a top level competitor, the calendar's largely been it's very uncertain at the moment. Nobody knows. Certainly the EOs has been cancelled. The World Championships are nobody knows at the moment because they're in September. So that's a bit uncertain. So how do you, as a top level competitor, keep yourself motivated and focused because obviously the shows and the preparation and even the tryouts for the team or the team days would give you things to work towards. How have you dealt with that? And has the team given any the team management, have they given you things as a team to work with? Any insight into that people can pull on and draw on?
So it's hard actually, because Fame's kind of last year, so competing competitively, and it should be 9 next year.
Wow.
So I was kind of thinking, I'm just training her now just for the fun of it, to be honest. I'm training her, I'm thinking this might be my last year with her, so I'm just having, she's not doing anything seriously now because I don't know what the year's going to bring. So I'm just enjoying her, keeping her fit just in case she gets anything. Commotion, because I felt like I had a lot to do anyway, so I'm motivated anyway to train him ready for when he comes out, because I didn't feel like he was quite ready with his contacts and a few other things for the level I wanted him to be at this year. So at least I've got that's keeping me motivated personally. But I think a better way to motivate yourself is just maybe setting up, if you have equipment at home, do little competitions with yourself. So set yourself challenges, which there's quite a lot on Facebook at the moment. People are setting each other challenges and stuff. I think that's a really good way, because everyone's got that competitive streak. So set yourself challenges and think, can I do that? If I can't, let's go away and train that this week, so I'm ready to do that challenge next week. I think the challenges will really help out. It's, I think with nothing coming up, or not knowing is so uncertain, isn't it? I don't think the World Championships will be on personally, but fingers crossed they are. But I'm not getting my hopes up for them because what the hell, we don't know anything at the moment that's going to happen. So it is hard to keep motivation up. And Dan's put Geek on a break because I think it's a perfect opportunity to. And the only reason I haven't is because it's her last year. I thought I should maybe keep her fitness up. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to bring it back up because she's that little bit older.
Yeah. So what would you normally do with your? You mentioned there several times about fitness. What do you? Dave's, for those that don't know, Dave's also a qualified osteopath, and that's what he used to do parallel with his agility. Now he solely just does agility training. What things can people do to keep their dogs fit and sound? And what do you do with your dogs to keep them fit, sound, and healthy?
So, the fitness side of it, the most important thing on fitness is walking, and it's obviously quite hard at the moment, possibly for some of you.
Yep.
But my dogs get a walk every single day, not all, and they're not running around like freaking idiots on the walk. It's a calm walk as much as possible. I let them have the odd race and the odd run, but on the whole, they're just having a nice, calm, cantering around, trotting around, lots of sniffing. I do a lot of scatter feeding all over the place to try and get them all just calm and nice. I think it's so good for them mentally as well as physically to have that. So beside that, I would usually do water, treadmill and swimming. That's obviously out at the moment because everywhere's shut. So I'm also going to be doing my conditioning work on my wobble cushions and all my so many things I do. But
so that stuff you can do obviously at home. You can you can get stuff on from online. You can get wobble cushions and balanced items and stuff. And you can get stuff. You can use a cushion. You can use a pillow. Anything.
You don't even need equipment for half of it. Half it's just on the ground, just lifting the legs, sits to stands, downs to sits, all sorts of things you can do without any equipment at all, just on your sofa. Just to get them on a sofa cushion, just so an unwobbling, unstable surface. So much you can do at home for their fitness stuff to keep them, and it keeps their brains going as well. Because quite often it's more important to tire this out than tire the body out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's going to make them more stable, more mentally stable.
No, that's a great feedback. Great information there about what you can do to keep your dogs fit, keep them healthy, keep them sound, and obviously prepare for. At some point things are going to change. We're going to be back out competing, hopefully. If whether it is this year or not, this year or next year, at some point, normality is going to resume. It's about hopefully keeping the dogs fit and sound enough so that, and also ticking them over with their training, and also addressing any of those things that you've known they've been niggling away, but because the show season or the competitive season is impending, you've put them on a back burner. Well, this is your perfect opportunity, as Dave mentioned, certainly with his young dog Commotion. He's going back and revisiting Foundation. That's such a great takeaway. It's never, it's never too late to go back. I mean, he's 3 years old. He's going up through the grades. You're looking at creating a dog that is of world championship quality. You need to go back and revisit those foundations. I think that's what everybody does at top level, isn't it? You keep on going back and schooling. So how are all your other dogs? How's your older dogs and the puppies? You've got a lot of puppies at the moment.
Oh yeah, we've got a whole litter of puppies at the moment, so that's fun. That's fun in isolation. Gives us something to do. Yeah. So that's cool, but I'm a bit stressed about whether they're going to get to their new homes or not. But even if we have to keep them a bit longer, that's fine. But yeah, no, they're taking up a lot of our time at the moment. We've got so many things we can do with them.
Yeah.
How
old are they now, Dave?
It's 4 weeks now.
Okay. I'm getting really interesting now.
Yeah, they're fun now. Yeah, they're starting to tug, they're starting to interact with us more. They're messier now. Spending my whole life cleaning. Yeah. So yeah, old one's Dobby's doing good. He just potters around. He's 15 and a half now. I mean, he's doing well for his age. But he's not going to be around forever because he's suddenly got a bit old. But he's loving the new property and just been able to potter around the fields. And because we've had some sunshine the last few days, he's been loving it. Just lying out in the sunshine. It's been great for him.
Is he your oldest then now? He's the oldest dog you've got.
Yeah, he's the oldest we've got now. Yeah. Boston Urban, just playing around with them. Let them do whatever they want, really. Boss retired now. Urban's always been retired. So it's not quite all there. But they love the property. Having this property has just changed their lives so much. Because just go out, let them just do things and have fun. And it's just amazing. We're so lucky to live where we live now.
Yeah, fantastic. So with the puppies, what sort of things is there any puppy that you're pulling towards? Or obviously you're not keeping one in theory, although you might end up with all 6. the way things are going. Is there any puppy that catches your eye?
It's a very even litter actually this time. I think the other one, last litter, there was definitely more ones that stood out a bit more than others. But he's saying that they've all turned out very similar. But this litter's very even. They all have their good days and bad days, same as all puppies do. But there's one of the bitches, Mel and Sue. She's quite feisty. She's a crazy little thing. Now she's the only one really that stood out consistently through the whole thing. The rest of them have all been quite level. Structurally, there's ones that stand out, and to be honest, that's all I would pick at right now. It's the structure, it's the ones with the slightly nicer structure. Mentally, they're all good. They're a good litter. I think they're very confident. We go out in the garden, go out in the fields, they haven't been there before, and they're just racing around.
Really?
And they're very, very confident puppies, which is nice to see.
Yeah, super. And they sound like they're going to be, hopefully, going on to their new homes, and hopefully people are going to enjoy them. Again, it's all uncertain at the moment. I think that the big thing for everybody is that it's the uncertainty, really, isn't it? And it's, trying to be, as Dave's mentioned, about trying to be, focused and trying to be proactive. So using this time that we have to make the best of the situation. So, in terms of reaching out to you, people can obviously access your website. They can follow. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or social media?
Facebook, maybe. I do a little bit of Instagram, but I never seem to keep up with it. Okay. Facebook's my big thing, really.
Cool.
Got a Facebook page and obviously just my personal page.
Cool. All right then. And if people want to check out Dave's stuff, it's QMe-agility.
QMe-agility.co.uk.
Cool. All right then. Thank you very much, Dave, for your time. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and enjoy your puppies.
You too. Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.